Hey everybody, Kelly Vaughan with the Vaughan team at Keller Williams. I am your real estate fairy godmother because I can make all your dreams come true. Speaking of dreams, I want to talk real quick today about buying your first home and the steps you need to keep in mind when you are getting ready to buy your first home. It is so exciting to buy your first home, and as a real estate agent, I love almost nothing more than working with first-time home buyers, because not only do I get to help people make a dream come true, the dream of home ownership, but also I get to educate them on the real estate market and the buying process so that down the road they are more informed and feel more comfortable with how much money they're spending, because when you buy a home, you spend a lot of money. And you need to be comfortable with what you're doing and how much money you're spending. So, some tips for first-time home buyers. The first tip is actually figure out how much money you want to spend and figure out how much money you can spend. And there's a distinction between the two. You may find a lender and you may qualify for $250,000. But you may look at that monthly payment and decide that you don't want to spend $250,000. You only want to spend $200,000 to give you more money to travel or fix up your house or whatever you want to do. So understand the difference between those two numbers and know what they are, because that's going to be very, very helpful for you in the buying process. You don't want your agent to show you homes that aren't comfortable for you from a budget perspective. We don't want you to buy more house than you're comfortable with. Number two, when you are saving, keep in mind that you need to save for more than just your down payment. There are closing costs associated with buying a home. There are taxes and fees and HOA dues and a lot of other fees that you've got to pay for an inspection, you've got to pay for movers, you've got to pay for possibly a survey. All this type of stuff is in addition to your down payment. And speaking of down payments, the conventional wisdom is that you need to have saved 20% of the purchase price to put down on a home. And that is true. In order to get the best interest rates possible that are on the market right now, 20% or more is really sort of the standard that you want to have saved in order to qualify for the best mortgage rate. But you don't have to have 20%. You can get into a home for a lot less than 20%. You can get into a house for 3.5% on some loans. If you are a veteran that has been honorably discharged or honorably separated from the service, you can get into a house with 0 down. So keep in mind, you're going to want to talk to your lender about all of that. And that actually is step number 3. Find a good local lender. You want someone who you can see and talk to, sit down across the table from, and someone who will educate you on the home buying process, the different types of loans that you may be eligible for, and everything that's involved in buying a home from a financial standpoint. And a good lender is going to do that. If you have some hiccups in your credit history, a lender can refer you to somebody to help you get those straightened out as well, so that we can make sure that you qualify for the best interest rate possible. Step number 4 is you're going to want to find a good local realtor who can, again, educate you on the process, help you decide and understand what are your must-haves, what are your deal breakers in a home, what can you live without, what is actually available on the market, what is realistic, what is not. As a realtor, I always laugh at House Hunters, the TV show House Hunters, because it is often not realistic in terms of what people want versus what they can afford. So keep in mind, it's not all HGTV. Love you, HGTV, but it's not exactly realistic, the home buying process that they show you. So find a realtor that is going to educate you on the process and help you understand the home buying process in your area, and make sure that you are comfortable with it, because you're spending a lot of money and we want to help you feel comfortable with that. So that's 4. Number 5 is figure out where you want to be. What part of town do you want to be in? Keep in mind commute. If schools are important, keep that in mind. Keep in mind the amenities of the area. Are there parks? Are there outdoor activity areas? Are there good restaurants? Is there shopping? Is there, what is your lifestyle and what do you like? What's important to you? And make sure that that the areas you're looking in have those options. It's not just about the house, because you are going to live there. What I recommend in choosing an area is drive around. Drive around all different types of times of day. Really see what's going on in a particular part of town that you're looking at. And then lastly, tip number 6 is go to open houses. Go into houses, figure out what type of house you like. Do you want a townhome? Do you want a single family home? Are you okay with a duplex? Do you want to buy a condo because you don't want any maintenance? Keep in mind that most people own a home about 7 years before they start thinking about a move. So your life and lifestyle may be very different now than it will be 7 to 10 years from now. And you may not right now want a house with a big yard because you travel a lot for work, but you may at some point want room for kids and dogs and swing set and pool and whatever else your life affords you at that point. So keep that in mind. Schools may not be important to you now, but they likely will at some point. So the areas that you choose now may not be areas, like you may want to be in an urban area. You may love downtown and want the vibe and the feel and the close to bars and restaurants and things like that. And at some point you may decide, oh, I think I'm turning into a suburb person. And that's okay, because that's what happens in life. So keep all that stuff in mind, but do go to open houses, figure out what style of house you want. It'll give you a good feel for neighborhoods as well. So keep those things in mind, and share all of that information with your real estate professional. The more information you give us, the easier it will be for us to help you find your first home. So that's it. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to holler at us. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you guys have a great day. Be kind to one another, and don't forget, we're never too busy for your referrals. Have a great one. Bye.